So I wanted to just read you something I was reading myself, because a lot of people try to decipher, or would like to decipher, the ancient biblical statement of he who has understanding will be able to know the number of the beast, and the number, that number is 666, yeah. And a lot of people try the square root, which is something that's actually how I came across this, that I was going back to looking at that, which I don't actually believe has anything to do with it at all, but I wanted to see what other people said about that, despite not being adhered to that particular concept. So, if 666 is evil, yeah, that's not what it says in the Bible. It says the number of the beast. Now, first of all, the word beast, oxen are beasts, the beasts of burden, yeah. And Noah took the beasts of all different kinds, yeah, 2 of each kind, into the ark, right? I'm getting some pop here, so I'm going to put some foam over the microphone, sorry. So, continue. The post was deleted by the person who originally posted it. I don't know why. Maybe he felt silly, but it's not a silly question. When you want to, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? You can comment. Please comment on this. Sort by best. Anyway, I want to read you what anonymity has said. And what anonymity commented to what somebody else said. So, anonymity's answer to this was 6 protons, 5 electrons. Actually, that's, I think anonymity means 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons, perhaps. And tends to believe that it has something to do with carbon life forms. As Manly P. Hall once stated, we are the gods of the atoms that make up ourselves, but we are also the atoms of the gods that make up the universe. There's 2 sides to a coin, and you can look at it from either side. He was a Freemason. And another statement by Dyson Jeddah, I believe it was, is that 2 Masons, meaning 2 people, for gosh sake, 2 people or 2 philosophers or 2 observers might view the same thing and see from their own side, from their own angle, and see 2 different things, meaning come to 2 different conclusions. But the beauty of the matter is that they might both be correct in their assumptions, because whoever said there has to be one single answer to everything, whoever made that assumption, is the universe bound to that? Is the universe actually bound to fulfill our expectations? So, to quote the Gnostic Warrior website, it's a Gnostic website, there's one of these, there's a personal blog, good luck to them, Gnostic Warrior website. Agree with what you agree with, don't with what you don't, like what you like, don't like what you don't like. The number 666 relates to the carbon atom. And this comes from Manly P. Hall, believed this as well. And I personally also believe this in a sense, because the carbon atom, we are carbon life forms. Anyway, the number 666 relates to the carbon atom and man. Carbon-12, one of the 5 elements in the human DNA, is composed of 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. See, did mean 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. This anonymity guy keeps hitting the wrong key. He needs glasses. So, It's one of the 5 elements in the human DNA, composed of 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons, which equates, of course, to 666. Carbon-12 is the most abundant of the 2 stable isotopes of the element carbon, which accounts for 98.89% of carbon. Yeah, itself, the stuff, carbon. Its abundance is due to the triple alpha process, by which it is created in the heart of a star, yeah, through atomic reaction, explosion, yeah. And as Carl Sagan had once said, we are made of star stuff, yeah. Not just Carl Sagan said that; a lot of people said that. He took it from somewhere else, actually, but yes, he did say it. The English name carbon comes from the Latin carbo, for coal and charcoal, whence also comes the French charbon, meaning charcoal, and in Spanish, carbon. Proof of 666 is found in the Bible via Isaiah 6, chapter 6, verse 6, where it says, "Then one of the seraphim flew to me with a live coal in his hand." Not necessarily, I'd like to analyze that separately. "Which he had taken with tongs from the altar." The name seraphim, meaning the burning ones, are the first hierarchy of angels, who some call demons, that were cherubim and thrones. Beelzebub was a prince of the seraphim, just below Lucifer. Well, that's Bible cosmogony. Yeah, or cosmogony. Yeah. I would go into that as a separate thing if you like me to analyze what I think about that. Well, this is quoting. Lucifer is another word for phosphorus. Yeah, there you go. And Lucifer, morning star, means the star that comes just before sunrise. Yeah, that star you see, is it the North Star? The morning star, anyway. So that's what Lucifer means, actually, also, the morning star. The bringer of light, the herald of light. It's a mentioned separately as an entity in the Bible to Satan. That's another word, phosphorus, which is the Latin word corresponding to Greek phosphorus, which is Lucifer. Yeah, phosphorus, Greek phosphoros, which means light bringer. Yeah, as the morning star. When phosphorus is combined with the elements below and carbon, it forms our very DNA. Yeah, so when combined with oxygen and hydrogen, carbon can form many groups of important biological compounds, including sugars, lignans, chitins, alcohols, fats, aromatic esters, carotenoids, and terpenes. Terpenes is also something they legalized cannabis, and they have very smelly kinds. That smell is terpene. Yeah. So with nitrogen, it forms alkaloids, and with the addition of sulfur, it also forms antibiotics, amino acids, and rubber products. With the addition of phosphorus to these other elements, it forms DNA and RNA. If you don't know what RNA is, Google it or Wikipedia it. The chemical code carriers of life, both of these, and adenosine triphosphate, ATP, which is the most important energy transfer molecule in all living cells. That's how all energy and data transmission goes on in the body, the nervous system, and your cells. Nucleotides are biological molecules that form the building blocks of nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Each nucleotide has 3 components: a phosphate group, a 5-carbon sugar, and a nitrogen-containing base. The phosphate groups and the sugars form the backbone of each strand of DNA or RNA. The phosphate is a component of DNA, RNA, ATP, and also the phospholipids that form all cell membranes. Phosphorus, Lucifer, is just the spark in our DNA that makes us fire. When the 666 of carbon is combined with the elements above and mixed with Lucifer, aka Horus, yeah, like the god Horus, Phosphorus, because the Greeks took their gods from the Egyptians and the Romans tailored their gods after the Greeks. And the Egyptians took their gods from certain characters and images which influenced them, including Hermes Trismegistus, who taught them their Wicca, their magical and scientific, that's all sciences, magical, agricultural, engineering, scientific, what you would call physics and stuff like that, yeah, and architecture and blah blah. So it went from one culture to the next, from the Hermetic, the pre-Egyptian, and the pre-Sumerian, to the Sumerian, to the Egyptian, to the Greeks, to the Romans, and was adapted and was adapted and was adapted, as was the language and the names of things and the way we write and count. So, Aka phosphorus. We get a Horus, yeah? Phosphorus is in the Greek language, phosphorus, because of the name Horus. Also the name Hermes, yeah? And Mercury is the same. The god Hermes, the god Mercury. It's just developments from earlier names, earlier versions of that personification of a certain universal principle, a principle of physics, a magical principle, a principle of nature and creation. Yeah, so that's why the word Horus is inflected there, to be seen within the word phosphorus. We get a combination or reaction of chemical elements that forms DNA and RNA. This magical God-given chemical code carrier, because not Horus but Mercury, and Hermes is the carrier, the messenger of the gods. So chemical code carrier is the very code for all life. Everything is code. I'll podcast that another day. And of course it is the number of a man. His number is 6 neutrons, 6 protons, and 6 electrons. Yeah, in Buddhism, the Mara, the demon, the devil, is actually the temptations you have within yourself, your own impure elements within yourself which have to be purified. So you, man, woman, I, me, am Mara. I am the devil, trying to become the God. I am the impure, trying to become the pure. I am the sinful, trying to become the virtuous. Yeah. I am the failure, trying to become the champion, the victor. So, it's the number of his man, his 6 neutrons, protons, and electrons. 603 score and 6. Various chemical elements, when combined with carbon, forms our very material reality, or what some may call the Matrix. John the Baptist in the Bible said of the coming Antichrist and the number of the beast, "Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6. It's the number of a man. A man or man. Because when the Bible got translated into English, in ancient languages, you didn't really have the and a. Even in Thai, you can use the word a or the, but nobody uses it, except in very, very official Buddhist scriptures teaching Pali, Sanskrit, and stuff like that, because they have the word the, and English has the word the. Thailand doesn't. It's a Sanskrit-based, not Pali-based. Pali does have the word the, because it was developed from Sanskrit, especially for scripture, and had to have a high grammar. And so I would say that John the Baptist said, "Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man." Not the number of a man, because you didn't say a man. And there's another thing about cryptography and alphabetical characters and numerology and numerical characters I'd like to come to shortly, because anonymity mentions that in this blog post. However, let him that hath understood, for it is the number of man, and his number is 603 score and 6, which is 666. Which could represent many possible scenarios or conspiracies. But the truth is that this number was passed down, well, not necessarily, but stating here, this number was passed down to us for the apocalypse, unveiling of something hidden. Well, perhaps. to help us identify this beast man with the mathematical number 666. The number 6, so his carbon footprint or what? The number 666 may be the sequence of DNA genetic signals or DNA fragments necessary for successful cloning. Yes, my friends, you and I may be the very beasts and antichrists our good friend St. John was warning us about. Man was created on the 6th day. The number 6 represents man and is not a perfect number, no? Well, I'll show something else about that later. Therefore, 666 is man's number and stops short of the perfect number 7. The two first letters in the name of Christ are CH and R, and they represent 700. That's because numbers are letters in ancient times. The perfect number, our body, like 777 is the number of Jesus Christ. Our body has 7 parts: the head, chest, abdomen, 2 legs, and 2 arms. Christ was crucified at Golgotha, which was the place of the skull. What it means, the name Golgotha. So I got that. Where did I get that? From the Gnostic warrior came that. So, and anonymity posted it here on Reddit. However, despite my personal belief, he continues, anonymity, this is more likely the more probable answer. In Gematria, in principle, and in ancient times, letters were tantamount to numbers. The original Bible was written in Greek and only contained letters. These were the first numbers, since there was not a separate set of characters for them in ancient times, you see. In fact, there was never truly any need to invent a separate set of characters for numbers. It is merely those who learned the cryptographic method from the Greeks, Egyptians, Phoenicians, Jews, in brackets, and a star, I don't know what that, well, note. Specifically, Gematria wanted to keep it for themselves. So I'll clear that up a bit, it's a bit jumbled. It is merely that those who learned the cryptographic method, cryptography means secret messages in code, yeah, hidden from those who don't know how to decrypt it, yeah, cryptography. That numbers and letters, right? So the numbers will be letters, yeah? And so that those who understood Gematria, which is knowing how to use symbolism and coded languages, basically, and sacred geometry. Basically, it's sacred geometry. Numerology, sacred geometry. They wanted to keep it for themselves as the elite, yeah, the high priests, yeah, the Freemasons, the Templars, whatever, yeah, the high priests of a religion, the Vatican, whatever. So the deliberate transformation of the entire alphabet as a numerical system began with Roman numerals, and most people know that, so you can confirm that there. Yeah? And the system was based on letters derived from the Greek alphabet, but it only contains 7 of these alphabetical characters, yeah, used as number symbols. Yeah, like V-I-I-I means 8, right? V is 5, yeah. Or IV is 4. If you put the I's in front of the V, then you subtract. If you put them after the V, you add, which is a bit like dots and dashes in Morse code, works the same way to count from 1 to 10. And then you have the X for the 10, and 20 would be 2 X's, yeah? So 2 X's, a V and an II, would be 2 10s, that's 20, a V, a 5, so that's 25, and 2 I's, an I is 1, so 2 I's is 2, yeah? So that would be 27. Right? But they're using actual alphabet characters to display numbers with in Roman. Yeah, VIII, Henry VIII, VIII. So you see how numbers are letters / letters are numbers. Do you see that? Right? You could even say, right, 1, 2, 3 means ABC. So I want to say A to Z, I would say 1 to 26. And you would know I meant A to Z. Right? Yeah. And if I said what number is the letter T? I don't know. Let's say it's the letter 20. I can't be bothered to count. So if I said 3, 1, 20, that would be cat, right? Okay? So numbers are letters, letters are numbers. The secret of 666. As time transpired, additional characters were created from the 7 Roman numerals, which are actually the letters B and the letters I and the letter X. Yeah? So numbers are characters and characters are numbers. Or numbers are letters, letters are numbers. Yeah? So this reinforced the notion that letters and numbers are 2 separate entities. Yeah? As time transpired. Yeah, and this became a very effective way for the illuminated, those who have had this secret revealed of the Gematria, of the cryptography, of how to decipher it, found it a very effective way to hide this knowledge from the common people. So decryption should begin with deciphering that puzzle first. And anonymity, whoever that is, has signed off with, for there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will be not be known or brought out into the open. So, username unavailable, BS in BS, said the problem with the assertion is the fact that while 666 is evil, it is not all evil. There are other evil things like torture, Hitler, slavery, rape, and Bert from Sesame Street. 25.8069, that's the square root of 666, not being the root of any of these things. Yeah? A root of evil. So because it says the root of evil, that people think the square root of 666 is the root of all evil. But 666 is not said to be evil. It's said to be the number of the beast, not the number of evil. And who said the beast is evil? Beasts of burden are not evil. My oxen are not evil. They're actually vegetarians and very kind. So anyway, anonymity answered, evil is in any case a human concept which does not exist outside of our conditioned minds. Sounds like somebody I know. As is good. It is dualistic, pathological, illusory thinking. Now that really sounds like somebody I know. Nothing in creation can be good or evil, for neither of them exist inherently or generically, rather only as abstract concepts in the minds of humans, whereas 99% of the rest of the space that composes the multiverse is void of such concepts, and carries on with worlds exploding, species going extinct, supernovas, God knows what happening all the time, yeah? Extremely powerful and dangerous explosions and beginnings and endings of whole species of life forms and planets full of life forms. And it carries on according to its own natural algorithm and agenda. Regardless of our invented concepts, the universe is not required to obey our expectations, and it knows nothing of good or evil. Is he anywhere else? Oh, here he is. So if it's a root of evil, but not the root, that's a funny word, of all evil, then what about this? The square root of 25.86 of torture, Hitler, slave, street money. Don't know. But anonymity says, well, the root of all evil and thinking it's square root, taking it from a book that's thousands of years old, firstly, square roots were not yet thought of as the gematria of this conundrum was written thousands of years old ago, written by the hand of a man, which were taken from the statements of another man, St. John the Baptist, who had a dream, a vision. So calculating the square root of 666 is looking down the wrong rabbit hole. If you look in the wrong place, usually you find no answers, or at least the wrong answer. Humankind as a carbon-based life form is the root of all evil. Nothing else in nature is evil, nor does it even conceive of the theory. 666 is us. Even in Buddhism, oh, he knows Buddhism. The Mara, devil, is our own darker side. Nobody's fault but mine. Exactly, our own deeds. Don't we blame anyone else. It's nobody's fault but mine. We do, but later we feel guilty if we blame somebody else, because we know in truth it's nobody else's fault but our own. So you cannot say, really, the devil made me do it. Well said. I made me do it, nobody else. That is Well, should say actually otherwise, that is a cop-out. To say otherwise is a cop-out. Self-denial of responsibility, lack of goodness. As a wise man once said, today and every day we live out our actions is the last judgment. That was William Blake. It is our deeds and our conscience which judges us. You get what you expect, not what you deserve. The universe is not bound to adhere to our ideologies or concepts of justice, nor what is right, wrong, good or evil. The universe is not obliged to cater to our expectations at all. Well, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with anonymity so much that I'd say I'd agree with it as if I'd written it myself. So, just wanted to show you that. One of my off-topic, non-amulet, non-Buddhism related podcasts or vlogs. Maybe add it to my Dear Diary. I don't know what playlist I'll add it to. Ajahn Spencer, for this time, boring you again, signing off.